It is. I mean, one of the first steps taken by somebody or an organization in an attempt to manage impressions is to define the situation
Mm,
so that other people cannot define it for themselves. And in so many cases that I've come across, there's this need to define the situation accurately and to promote a true narrative. But what often happens is the person who perhaps is the one in the position of defending their legitimacy or they feel threatened in some way, they define the situation in a way that leaves out certain details or paints a picture that isn't entirely accurate, leads people to wonder, well, what is the big deal? And then you have sometimes those who are aware of what the situation actually is about or what the true nature of the concerns is, and they then are wanting to correct that narrative and to define the situation in an accurate way, but they're not given an opportunity to, or there just isn't that platform that they have to be able to redefine the situation in a way
yeah.
that is accurate.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, like, as somebody that's sitting in that room, talk to me about, like, would I, as just somebody, this is my employer. I get my paycheck from them. A lot of my good friends are sitting there by me. Am is my first inclination going to be to, like, not believe that? Like, what is the power in a room? What is the dynamic happening in a room like that, in that sort of group?
Well, I think it varies because in any kind of group, you have people who are sincerely converted
Mhm.
to the group itself, to the leadership, to its values, its beliefs, and will remain converted typically to whatever narrative, um, whatever story is being promoted by leadership. And then you have those who aren't sincerely converted. Maybe they haven't gotten to that point yet, or they're moving away from that. They once were sincerely converted to the culture, but they're still compliant. Um, they're still choosing to show up to work. They're still choosing to do the tasks that they're being assigned to complete. They're remaining compliant, but they're not converted. Then you have those who are withdrawing in some way, perhaps psychologically, they're checking out. Perhaps they're looking for another job. They're about to physically withdraw. And then you have those who are actively opposing,
Mhm.
those who are seeing what's wrong. They haven't left. They're fighting for reform.
Mhm.
And so it's going to impact people in a different way depending on where they're at.
Sure. So depending on the group they're in, that's the lens that they're gonna be taking this in through.
Right, right. I do think though that for all of them, it creates this culture in which you have those who are being discredited and those who, as a result of that, have not yet been discredited, but they are discreditable. And so
Mm,
this is again taking some categories from Irving Goffman and specifically from his book Stigma. And the subtitle of that book is a great subtitle. It's Notes on the Management of Spoiled Identity.
mm,
That's really so often is what's
yeah.
happening in any kind of communication where one group is being treated as normal and another group is being stigmatized. There's an attempt to manage identities to keep them from being spoiled or to rescue a spoiled identity. And and so when that happens, you have those who are being discredited. So the impression management literature might call that attempt to discredit those who are bringing concerns or aren't sincerely converted to the way things are being done as condemning the condemner. So that would be
Mhm.
the tactic, condemning the condemner. So you have those who are being discredited. But when that begins to happen, then those who haven't been discredited, because perhaps because they haven't said anything out loud, they haven't brought a complaint. They haven't raised a concern to a colleague. They are discreditable even though they haven't yet been discredited. So what that
Mm,
means is that they then carry within them these concerns, but they keep those concerns close to their chest, knowing that if they were to dissent in some way, even in a respectful way, they might be discredited, just
mhm.
like others have been.